Today we are going to start with a new lesson, section 3 in chapter 16, which talks about the water quality and how the water pollution can threaten the habitat and the health. Okay? Now, what is about the water that allows so much pollution to be dispersed across thousands of miles of ocean? Yani in another word, what is the water, or what are the substances that contribute to the water pollution in the ocean or in the rivers, guys? Can anyone tell me any of the pollutants that can pollute the water and affect the water quality of the oceans and rivers and lakes? What are some pollutants that can affect the water? Yeah, احنا قلنا what is the meaning of pollutant? What is the meaning of pollutant? Who can tell me? ايش يعني pollutant?
Pollutant?
Yeah, pollutant. What is the meaning of pollutant?
undesirable شيء أو هيك شيء.
Factors, yes, undesirable factors that
Undesirable factor.
yes that exist in the environment. وهذول undesirable شيء مش محبب وجوده. It can threaten the habitat, the ecosystem, the health of the organism. Okay? فالبولوشن هذا البولوتنت cause pollution. احنا قلنا عن الاير and today we are going to talk about the water, the fresh water. The fresh water والoceans, the lakes, those all are very important resources of water for many purposes in our life. صح for us and for the other living things like plants and animals. So sometimes we say the word water is polluted. What are the factors that pollute water, or what are pollutants that pollute water? I'll give you examples of things that can pollute the water. Who knows, guys? يلا أعطوني some pollutants that cause pollution of the water. يلا ديلارا, yes please.
Okay, maybe the trash.
Trash, صح, bravo. Throwing trash in the ocean, in a river, this will make the water polluted. Thank you very much.
And chemicals.
And what?
Chemicals.
Chemicals, bravo. أعطيني example of chemicals that drawn in the water. أعطيني زي إيش الكيميكالز؟ مين بيرمي chemicals عادة؟ Who knows? Who knows? From where the chemicals come to the ocean أو للrivers؟ من إيش؟ يس براءة. اوكي هلا الكيميكالز هدول من احنا في عندنا a lot of pollutants او chemicals that contaminate the water. Contaminate يعني بتلوث or pollute the water. زي عندي الرو sewage اللي هي المجاري. If the raw sewage come in contact to the water body, the river, the lake, طبعا it will be polluted. وهاي الرو سويج حيكون فيها كيميكالز. احنا بنستعمل ديترجنت بالبيت اللي هم المنظفات هذول كلهم كيميكالز. they may pollute the water through the sewage. التراش اوكي التراش ممكن يكون فيها كيميكالز and if this trash transmitted to the water الكيميكالز اللي فيها will go in the water. وفي عندي كمان other this يعني this are the examples يعني of the pollutants. Okay. وفي عندي other way into rivers and lakes, and not only the rivers, not only the lakes, not only the oceans, برضه عندي الأكويفرز. مين بيعرف شو يعني الأكويفرز؟ إيش هم الأكويفرز؟ Who knows? What are the aquifers?
Are the what?
Aquifers. What is an aquifer? Okay. الأكويفر هي الووتر الأندر جراوند ووتر The underground water is a very important source of water. ينابيع مي. هدول ينابيع المي God created them underground. They are fresh water. And many countries depend on this fresh water which is underground by digging a hole deep underground. بصير عندي aquifer. Aquifer هو a place where you can pump the underground water out to use it for many purposes, for drinking, for cooking, for many things. Okay, but not only the surface body waters are source of water. مش بس oceans والlakes والponds. Also, we have some underground water that is a very important source of the fresh water. We get it through aquifers. Do you understand what aquifer is now? هلا this water اللي هي الأكويفر اللي هي underground water rivers also lakes can be contaminated from farms and cities. Okay? هلا احنا usually الفارم هذول to prevent the plants from any diseases بيستعملوا pesticides وبيدات حشرية. طب مش هذول chemical؟ هلا and they water the plant or raining will wash the plant and will fall on the soil. طيب ما هي البلانت كلها chemical من البستيسايد. هدول الwater run off from the farms and cities may contain these chemicals in the pesticide, okay, and can disrupt the chemical balance of fresh water and lakes and streams. هذا بدخل على الفريش ووتر، على الاندر ووتر، على الستريم، اوكي؟ زي غير الديترجنت عندي الفيرتلايزر. في عندي chemical fertilizers. هدول الفيرتلايزرز are chemicals. They will be washed away, okay, and can affect the lake ecosystem. احيانا بيكون lake sorry ecosystem. احيانا بيكون عندي in this lake living different types of fish, algae, plants. هلا احيانا هدول الفيرتلايزرز بيغذوا الالجي. اوكي الالجي will grow more. اذا نزل في الليك عندي انا more fertilizers او chemicals ممكن هذا let the algae in the lake grow faster and more algae will يصير عنده overgrowth. طب الالجي هذا if it grow more it is not good for the lake. Why؟ لانه dissolved oxygen في الليك it will decrease, and this decreasing in the oxygen level in the lake will affect other living things such as the fish. Okay? So, chemicals like detergent, like fertilizer, when they run off by the water, and they run off the water, when they carry inside the river or any water resource, they will affect the organisms inside. Do you understand? Guys, do you understand? Any questions?
I think I got it.
All right. هلا هون okay. Just a minute. All right. علق دقيقة واحدة بس. Okay. What's wrong? علق الكمبيوتر. Anyway. أنا أعطيك time. هلا في عندي أنا الساينتست can determine the health of an ecosystem. يعني sometimes هاي لا not this one, I want this one. Isn't want to open. As we see here in this river, شايفين هون هذا الريفر فيه there's يعني some runoff of water, chemicals and fertilizers, and it caused this algae population to increase. وهذا by time will affect other ecosystems that live here. Okay? لأنه it will decrease the amount of the dissolved oxygen in the water. هلا scientists they use something called indicator species like a frog is an example. في عندي some fish. هلا في عندي أنا some type of fish that live in the rivers or lakes. هاي الفيش بنسميها يعني they have a characteristic that they can gender bending. يعني they can change their gender. يعني إذا كانت male ممكن تتحول لفيميل. كيف؟
إذا كانت تحت الشمس.
لا مش الشمس بس، هي في كيميكال. احكي يسمع عمر.
كانت أظن إذا كانت مخبية بتكون فيميل. لا
هي مش هيك، هي الفكرة إنه some chemicals these chemicals exist in the water زي مادة الاستروجين مثلا من some medicine some chemicals. في مادة هاي الاستروجين إذا دخلت على المي في عندي some fish types بصير عندهم gender bending بتكون هي male بتصير عندها characteristics of female. اوكي؟ طب هذول الجندر bending fish are only one effect of water pollution. تخيلوا بتغير الجندر تبعها من الeffect of water pollution from some chemicals. في عندي this frog مثلا some types of frogs. هلا الفروغ عادة السكن تبعهم is permeable for water. اوكي؟ يعني الووتر can go through it، بدخل المي جوا السكن. اوكي؟ هلا if this water is polluted with chemicals, this pollutants will enter the body of the frog. رح تعمل عنده it will go inside the body and it will affect the body. ممكن تأثر عليه إنه يصير يطلع له أطراف زيادة، يعني يطلع له نتوءات بجسمه زي إيد زيادة، إجر زيادة، tail or something, not tail, sorry, some additional part. طب هذا تشوه بصير. أوكي؟ أو ممكن يسبب عنده tumors أورام في هذا الفروغ. فهم الساينتست they use these species as indicators. شو يعني indicator؟ اللي هو bio indicator برضه عشان and a species that provide sign، تعطيك sign أو indication على الكواليتي تاعت الإيكوسيستم. بيشوفوا الوتر منيحة they will take that species اللي هو indicator species and they look at specific characteristics normally found. طلع على الفروغ is normal, no tumors, the body parts are all good. تمام، معناته انه باكتشافه لقوا في عنده اي اكسترا او بنسميهم deformities تشوهات او tumors in his body، معناته there is a problem in the water where he is. في عندي كمان غير الفروغ من الامفيبيانز البرمائيات اللي هو السلماندر، اللي هو سمك سلماندر برضه كمان some changes happen to their body. اوكي؟ في عندي الفيش اللي حكينا عنها اللي هو الجندر بندنج فيش، بتكون هي ميل بس فيها الكاركترستكس اوف فيميل. اوكي؟ فهدول الانديكيتور سبيشيز provide sign of an ecosystem health. واكزامبل عليهم هم الامفيبيانز لايك ذا فروغ. وفي عندي كمان التوب بريدتورز. التوب بريدتورز زي هذا الهاك اللي شايفينه قدامكم. هذا الهاك هلا this hawk is eating بياكلوا كثير فيش من الووتر، صح؟ هلا إذا كانت الووتر polluted the chemicals will enter the body of the fish. When the hawk eat the fish, these chemicals will enter the body of the hawk. فبرضه التوب predators are indicators كمان. طبعا هذا في عندي chemicals are very harmful. إذا وجدت المي it's very harmful، ممكن تأثر على nervous system الجهاز العصبي. Okay? And this ممكن تأثر كمان على laying eggs. فهذا will affect the population of the species. Okay? Is it clear, guys, what is the indicator species are?
Yes, teacher.
Is it clear? So في عندي أنا كمان Forster's tern، هذا bird برضه it feeds on fish في معروف ب United States. okay؟ في الcoastal regions في United States. هذا الساينتست بروفايدد في عندي pollution. كيف عرفوا انه في عندي pollution في سان فرانسيسكو باي؟ اوكي، الووتر هناك كان فيها pollution. كيف عرفوا؟ they use the indicator species اللي هم this type of bird tern، يسموه tern bird، زي بيشبه الهوك شوي. شو عملوا؟ من هذا الانديكيتور سبيشيز عرفوا انه there is pollution in the water. اوكي؟ ليش؟ لانه هذا البيرد عنده نيش. ايش النيش تاعته؟ نيش يعني رول. الرول تاعته هي انه to be the top predator. اعلى شيء في الفود تشين هو التوب بريدتور. اوكي؟ اللي هو tertiary consumer. تمام؟ لايكو سيستم. هلا طبعا الامبورتنت بارت اوف ذا tern's diet هو الفيش. ومن وين كان ياكل الفيش؟ من سان فرانسيسكو باي. شو عملوا؟ كيف عرفوا؟ هلا في عندي طبعا من some of these die من الديد tern chicks، التشيكس الصغار تاعهم اخذوا التيشوز الانتجه. اوكي؟ and they find انه في عندي large amount of chemical contaminants when in the inside their tissue. داخل هاي الكونتامينانت او البولوتنت inside the tissue بأنتجت التشيك الصغار من هذا البيرد. هدول الكيميكالز اللي لقوها very dangerous زي ميركوري. مادة الميركوري اللي هي الزئبق إذا انوجدت جدا ضارة. في عندي شيء اسمه PCB اللي هو poly chlorinated biphenyl. هاي مادة برضه كيماوية. هدول الكيميكال كان ديفلوب كان ستوب الايج الديفلوبينج اوف ايج. بصير عندي laying للايج والايج ما بصير لها اكتمال doesn't develop. اوكي؟ وبتعمل بروبلم زي ما قلنا بالنيرفس سيستم بالادلت بيرد. اوكي؟ فلما شافوا هذول البولوتنت في التيشوز تاعون البيرد عرفوا انه there was a pollution بسان فرانسيسكو باي في هاي الووتر. اوكي؟ Do you understand?
Miss, I'll be honest, I'm a little lost about the indicator
lost?
species. I'm a little lost.
I cannot hear you, Tasneem.
I'm a little like confused and lost about the.
Okay, again, let's repeat again. We were talking about the water pollution and the water equality. احنا قلنا إن scientists they keep testing the water equality. Why? To make sure that this water is suitable for life for many organisms.
What was the thing you said that they kept to make sure the water?
Again?
What was the thing you just said about the what they keep track of the water?
Testing.
Okay.
Testing the water equality. Okay? Miss, they want to make sure scientists, ecologists, especially ecologists, okay, they always take care of the ecosystem, of the environment. They want to make sure that the environment have good habitat for the animals and the organisms that live there. The animals, they are in a good health. The animals will plant, they are not threatened, they will not extend. So they keep testing the quality of many things, the soil quality, the water quality, to make sure that these ecosystems are normal. The living things that live there are in a healthy manner. They are healthy. Okay? تمام. فأنا هدول الساينتست they use indicator species. Indicator species هم living things that give you a sign if there is any problem happens in the water quality, if the water is polluted or not. وقلنا example of this one, the frog. The frog, if the frog lives in a polluted water, this frog can let the water go through it. يعني الwater can go inside his body لأنه السكن تبعه water permeable بدخل المي. If this water is contaminated or polluted, these pollutants will go inside his body, and this will form deformatives. إيش يعني deformative؟ يعني abnormal growing of parts in his body. Okay? This is an indicator إنه هذا الفرog is not healthy. There is something wrong with him. Why? So what is the reason? The pollution. This will give indication that the water is polluted. The water may have chemicals that affect this water, this frog. Sorry?
No, okay, I get it. Continue.
Yeah. And there is other examples, not only frogs. في عندي كمان الفيش اللي قلنا عنها اللي هي الجندر بندنج فيش. في عندي fish if they exposed to some chemicals بتكون male هي male but it will change and show some what يا تسنيم what
Wait, if they're exposed to what?
chemicals pollutants. These chemicals may affect their gender. يعني هم بيكونوا male but these chemicals will let them show some female characteristics. Okay, Tasneem?
Okay.
And هذا indicator that there is something wrong with these fish. Also some top predators اللي بيكونوا at the top of the food chain or at the food web. These top predators also could be an indicator here because they found as an example, I told you in San Francisco Bay, there was في عندي living there some birds called tern birds. Okay, they are at the top of the web like the hawk. فهدول tern birds they eat fish, okay, from the bay. هلا they noticed that this bay water was contaminated or have many pollutants. How they know this? By testing tissues of the chicks, the dead chicks. لما ماتوا الchicks when they die.
Okay.
I cannot hear you. Sorry.
No, I get it. Continue.
They examine or test the tissues of the dead chicks or dead animals from this bird, and they found in the tissues, الأنسجة يعني, the tissues of their body has chemicals. Normally, they shouldn't have these chemicals. So this tells this finding tells the scientists that these birds were taken inside their bodies some chemicals through eating the fish. لأنه الfish living in the water, if the water contaminated, these chemicals will be inside the body of the fish, and when the bird eats the fish, these chemicals will go inside the tissue of the bird.
Okay.
Any question, guys? Okay. إذا هدول indicator species. هلا I want to show you this figure here. If you look at this food chain starts with phytoplankton. Okay? Then the phytoplankton هم طبعا producer. These phytoplankton هم base of the food chain. هم البيس هم producers. هلا zooplankton eat the phytoplankton. Small fish eat the zooplankton. Bigger fish will eat the small fish. واخر شيء التوب بريدتور اللي هو هذا التيرن، هذا هو التيرن بيرد. اوكي؟ هذا التيرن بيرد will eat the big fish. طيب let us consider that there are pollutants in the water. تمام؟ هدول البولوتنت will enter the body of the phytoplankton. When the zooplankton eat phytoplankton, they will eat, كل zooplankton will eat not only one phytoplankton, many. So these chemicals will enter the body of the zooplankton. Each fish will eat many of these zooplankton, which chemicals will go inside the body. And so on till the chemicals will reach the top predator. Okay? Each one feed on the other. While feeding on each other, these chemicals will transfer from one living thing to another through this chain. طيب, in your opinion, which one of these animals here in this food chain will get the most amount of the chemicals? الفايتوبلانكتون ولا التوب predator? What do you think?
Wait, what's your question?
You have problem with the mic Tasneem or what? مثل
No, I
كل
don't.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, teacher.
السؤال هو يا تسنيم. In your opinion, which animal or which organism that exists in this food chain will get much amount or more amount of the chemicals? الchemicals أو pollutants in the water. الفايتوبلانكتونز ولا التوب predator?
Phytoplankton.
Okay, Tala, you answered phytoplankton.
Layan.
Layan, thank you, Layan. Tasneem, what do you think?
I think top predator.
Yes. Can you explain for us why the top predator?
Because I mean it's a pretty obvious answer, but since it's eating the fish who also ate the smelt and then the zooplankton, the phytoplankton, it's got all the other chemicals. So there's like a lot of it inside the fish. So if the top predator, it's basically consuming all the other chemicals.
Yes. شوفوا ليان انتبهي هلا انت عندك الفايتوبلانكتون contain or break up the chemical from their environment. تاخذ الكيميكال من الانفايرمنت اللي هي بالووتر. هدول الفايتوبلانكتون will contain very small concentration of the chemical. Okay? But when zooplankton feed on phytoplankton, they are also eating the chemical. Because the zooplankton eat many يعني ما بتكفيها واحدة. Zooplankton will eat many phytoplankton. Higher levels of chemicals build up in the zooplankton. أكلت كثير من الفايتوبلانكتون صار فيها many chemicals will build up. هلا السكندري consumer هون عندي اللي هي الفيش. Okay, the small fish eat zooplankton and collect larger concentration because they will not eat one, they will eat many more. Okay. هلا في عندي شغله كثير مهمه، في عندي شيء بدكم تعرفوا كيف دخلوا على التشو. هلا انا في عندي كيميكالز او توكسيك كومباوند، اشياء سامه للجسم، توكسيك كومباوند بتكون ووتر سوليوبل بتدوب في المي، وفي عندي منها فات سوليوبل. اللي بتفوت على الجسم الووتر سوليوبل ممكن تطلع منه عادي بالويست، بس اللي بتكون فات سوليوبل will enter the tissue of the organism، بتفوت على الأنسجة الخلايا and will stay there. فعشان هيك الكيميكالز هدول اللي بيكونوا fat soluble will stay inside the body or the tissues of the organism. فهاي الفيش it will eat more zooplankton and the chemicals will build up more in their tissue. تمام? And so on. The larger fish will eat chemicals by eating the small fish. وهذه الchemicals will stay and build up in their fat, الدهن اللي جواهم. Okay, as they eat more and more. كل ما أكلوا أكثر كل ما زاد الchemicals inside. نيجي للتوب predator في الchain will get most of the chemicals and it will eat more and the chemicals will build up more in its tissue. Is it clear, Layan?
Yes, it's clear. I said that because I thought that the phytoplankton gets the more because as it grows up, it gets saved in their bodies and it gets less. That's why. But yeah.
لا هي مش زي الانرجي. هذيك الانرجي اللي بتكون يعني transmit أو ب 10% between one level and another. أما هاي مش energy، هاي chemical بتكون في التشو. ف when they eat more they will get more chemicals. هلا إحنا as humans كمان we are top predators لأن إحنا بناكل لحوم، بناكل meat. أوكي؟ بس إحنا برضو top predators. إحنا تخيلوا we are eating fish أو we are eating meat وهاي الميت in their tissue فيها chemical، this will build up in our body. Okay? احنا top consumer and we will be affected. هلا هذا accumulation، هلا أنا عندي كان هنا concentration of the toxic compounds small، zooplankton more and getting more and more. عم بيصير عندي accumulation، تجمع the toxins in the food chain. هذا accumulation اللي صار عندي من الفايتوبلانكتون till the top predator بنسميه biomagnification. إذا كأنه كمية الكيميكال عمالة بتتضخم، وين بتوصل؟ أكثر شيء للتوب بريدتور. فبايومagnification اللي هو causes accumulation، تجمع of toxin in the food chain. عماله بتراكم كل مرة أكثر من اللي قبله. أوكي؟ building up، accumulation يعني building more and more. Any question, guys? IMS? This is for today. Tomorrow, Sunday, sorry, we are going to review and answer the question. If you don't have any question, I will ask you now, what is the meaning of indicator species? Why we use the species? Yeah, who can tell me what is an indicator species? Let's name.
An indicator species is to know, like, a sign or indication if the ecosystem, about the ecosystems, like environmental health, and to see if like the water or the plants, if it's like healthy or it has like chemicals or anything like that.
Yes, يعني to it's a sign for the quality of the water. It's used as a sign for the quality of the water. Okay, can you give me, anyone give me an example of indicator species, guys? Yalla, who would like to answer? Layan, can you give me an example of indicator species?
Like frogs, and there was this forced stress tern bird.
برافو. اللي هم وفي عندي كمان some fish وماني others. في الأول مثلا في بيكون اختلافات بتصير بالأول. في many others. Okay. Right. What is biomagnification? Anyone tell us what is biomagnification? Yalla, I will take it away. Yeah. Who can tell us what is biomagnification? نشوف ميرنا. Can you tell us, Mirna, what is biomagnification? Dilara, yes, please.
Yes, teacher. Fat-soluble pollutants can also move from an organism to another in a process that is known as biomagnification.
اللي هي accumulation, yes. Moving of toxic compounds, toxic يعني سام, and harmful for the body. Moving of this and building up from one organism to another organism through a food chain has نفس we can say accumulating will cause the biomagnification. Okay, and when we go through the chain as we saw here, an amount of chemicals will be a lot in the top predators because it will be accumulated through the food chain. Okay, any question? All right, see you tomorrow, guys. Sorry, on Sunday.